Good evening, bonsoir, bienvenue. Thank you all for being here. Are we rolling, Vic?
We are totally rolling.
Wow.
Hi, there's a lot of people here I don't recognize, actually. My name's Augusta Sagnelli. I am the publisher of the second edition of Slim and the Beast. Kingdom Anywhere is our imprint, proudly. Samuel and I started Kingdom Anywhere when I moved here in 2021, in theory, and then in practice after we published his first novel, or his second novel, the first one with us, The Requisitions, and we decided to do the same with his debut novel, Slim and the Beast, by republishing, re-editing, and redesigning, and putting it out this year. So that's what you're going to hear tonight is a live reading from two of our good friends, Jan and Maxime, a poet and an actor, both artists, both amazing people. And they're going to be playing the two main characters, Slim and the Beast, or Hugh. You'll hear him referred to as Hugh. The Beast is a nickname that he has that his friend doesn't always call him. And Samuel is going to be playing the bartender / narrator, kind of the third voice in this story. You're going to be hearing music during the reading by Lopez-Barrantes, the twin brother of the author, Samuel. And by Au Chat Noir's own Lucia, who you may have seen behind the bar, but she has many talents. And she will also be accompanying the guys to set the tone for the reading. And yeah, we're happy to have you here. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Samuel Lopez-Barrantes. Augusta, my publisher, Jan, my friend, poet friend, guy who brought me here, 14, 15 years ago for the first time. Maxime, an actor I met years ago. Here as well, there you go. And met him in the womb about 37 years ago and changed, almost 38 now. I'm going to read the opening to the book just so it gives you some context for the dialogue that will follow. That'll be about 10-15 minutes, and then we will continue libations. It's such an easy thing and a hard thing to show up as a writer, as an artist, as a musician, as a friend, and the fact that you're all here and just showed up is already kind of everything. So thank you all for being here. It really is, in this day and age, such a simple yet elusive idea to just show up for whatever that means. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to read you the opening really page and then just two brief character sketches of Slim and the Beast so you understand where their philosophies are coming from. It's going to be a dialogue between Slim and the Beast acted out by my dear friends. Here is the epigraph, or the two epigraphs for this novel. To be sure, a human being is a finite thing, and his freedom is restricted. It is not freedom from conditions, but it is freedom to take a stand toward the conditions. Viktor Frankl. Slim's famous burger. Lettuce, coleslaw, sliced tomatoes, a burger patty, American cheese, avocado, a second patty, a fried egg, ketchup, and hot sauce. Texas Pete, to be precise. Chapter 1, a soldier and his stalker. As I watched him lying in his own pool of blood, all I could think of was that half-eaten burger. Lettuce, coleslaw, sliced tomatoes, a burger patty, American cheese, avocado, a second patty, a fried egg, ketchup, and hot sauce. Texas Pete, to be precise. I'm going to tell you about a man named Slim. Who he is isn't important. It's who he was that matters now. He came from a time before your iPads and Bluetooths and tweeting pages. Not too long ago, but long enough to make a difference. From a time where if you wanted to get to know someone, it wasn't through yellow smiles and little red hearts, but through honest conversation. The only kindle was to light a fire. The nicest cell phone was called a razor. And even though Facebook did exist, well, most people still made their friends at the bar. During that first decade of this here century, relationships took time and strayed away from brevity. You went to bars for civilization, maybe some music and a bit of whiskey. Sure, you could go for other reasons too, but only the loneliest of folk went to be seen. So here I'm going to give you the introduction to Slim's character, which comes a couple pages in, page 52 to be precise. Crawdads and Lawnmowers, Chapter 8. Slim was born in an elevated trailer atop a hill above a creek that runs under the James Taylor Bridge. The place smelled like Hot Pockets, wet laundry, and mold, and the crawl space beneath the trailer smelled like somewhere rodents go to die. The house was a tube small enough to tow with a pickup, a flimsy metallic structure whose innards were made of crackling drywall and asbestos. There was a master bedroom, his mother's, a hallway, living room, kitchen, bathroom, short hallway, then Slim's bedroom, which only fit a single bed. Insulation foam crept out the plaster walls throughout the year, doing little to keep the air in or out. The roof leaked constantly, as did the kitchen sink, whose drip, drip, dripping kept Slim up at night. Whenever he had the courage, he was afraid of the dark as a kid. He'd tiptoe out of his room, down the hallway, and into the living room/kitchen, where his feet would sink into the sodden brown carpet. He'd squish back through the kitchen on his tiptoes and crawl into bed. The dark brown walls in his bedroom absorbed most of his trusty nightlight's blue glow. The rest of the trailer was filled with exposed, swinging light bulbs whose fuses were almost always at their end. Sometimes, his mother slept in her bedroom, but usually the piled damp laundry on top of her bed, she got high in the living room and the kitchen, where she often passed out. So that's a little idea where Slim comes from. And now before I leave it to these fine actors here, Hugh Dotton Fields, aka the Beast. Chez Nous, Chapter 10. Jennifer Dotton and Winston Fields used to run a quaint diner off Old Highway 86. It was a long, winding road slicing through dense forests, and verdant meadows and golden pastures covered in rolls of hay. The barns used to hold pigs and sheep, but by the time Hugh Dotton Fields, aka the Beast, was born, they were mostly machines. Still, when the Dotton Fields relocated back in the 80s, there were no subdivisions or shopping centers or cookie-cutter homes, just tick-infested forests filled with agile and frightened deer, and everywhere the cicadas chirping and the bees buzzing amidst the quiet rustle of trees, and pollen irritating the eyes and thunderstorms flooding shadow waters. The region used to be filled with people who knew the lay of the land. They didn't wear earplugs while mowing the lawn, or goggles to use a tractor, or gloves to weed, or bug spray in the yard. The Dotton Fields bought local, but not because they were virtue signaling. Going green was as obvious as dishwashing by hand. Now I'd like to invite my friends up for a dialogue that's going to take place about halfway through the book when Slim and the Beast enter Lockhart's Bar, which is where we are all sitting right now. The bar is here. Slim and the Beast will be sitting, asking for a drink.
And it could be God or many gods, whatever.
Glass of water?
Sure, why not? You might not be religious, but you still gotta respect it. Slim, you don't have to agree to respect the effort.
That's why you get people like Dykes. All the extremists. What's this obsession with always having to listen to everybody? even bygones. I always hated anthropology.
But can't you see the problem with that? You think you're better off not knowing what makes Sergeant Dykes tick? Excluding people's opinions never works out in the long run. Just because Dykes is crazy doesn't mean you shouldn't try to understand him. The problem is he thinks he's right, but you think you're right too. No, of course not. Of course he's not right. But when it's all said and done, that's not the point, is it?
Yeah, okay. Recognize that it's all subjective, anthropology, blah, blah, blah. But is it? I don't know. You don't have to be right for some people to be wrong, do you? I mean, I'll listen to those people seeking truth, but not the ones with a preconceived answer before they even begin the search.
So according to you, Sergeant Dykes, he's seeking truth.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. He's not asking the right questions. He's only searching for answers to support his theory.
And what theory is that?
Hell, if I know. But he isn't trying to find answers to better understand. And that is the problem, isn't it? The people who think they've got the answer. They can't help but reduce everything to fit their narrative.
Well, that's the point of faith, right? To believe in something without proof. But still, come on, Slim. You don't think faith is entirely worthless?
No, faith is necessary. That's what got me here. Well, part of the way anyway. But if I've got faith, and you've got it too, and Lockhart's got it too, well then, aren't we entitled to our own personal versions? The problem with Dykes is he's always trying to convince others because he's not confident in his own opinion. And that's the difference, faith versus conviction. Convincing people that your version is the truth is where we get in trouble. Now, the way I see it, claiming answers is desecrating something. It's the easy way out. The whole point is to question and cultivate our own gardens.
That was Voltaire, right? Or was it Rousseau?
Voltaire, Candide. Dykes thinks he's right because he's the loudest guy in the bar. That's why he's so obsessed with me and the other cadets, and now this Toby and even you. He has so little faith in himself, he has to create someone else worth worshipping.
Slim paused for a moment, as if he were unsure of what he'd said.
If you don't have faith in yourself, well, how are you supposed to have faith in anything, right? That's why I'm thankful for my first years at UNC. You know, when I first got there, I even considered going to church.
What's wrong with that?
Man, there's no way a dude wearing a white robe, serving you crackers and red wine has the answer. Or a dude with long beard trying a black rope around your head and your arm? Or telling me I've got to slit a sacred goat's neck before I can eat it? I mean, what are we talking about here? Really, what are we talking about? We're talking about people who actually believe they can survive their own death, putting happiness into someone else's hands, that God can justify killing, and that everything is part of some God's divine plan.
You don't think everything happens for a reason?
Well, hold on now, Hugh. Let me finish. I was about to say things happen for a reason because you can find a reason in everything. But just because you can find a reason doesn't mean it actually exists. Alive in its questions, religion dies in its answers. And that's the point of a horizon, right? It's constantly receding. I mean, you know this, Hugh. I don't need to tell you twice. They're making a documentary about you based on what? On an article someone wrote 3 years ago? Dykes collecting shitty newspaper articles as if they held some truth about you? All this obsession with written words as if they were canon. I don't get it. Really, I don't. Like Nietzsche said, look the other way. I mean, talk about lost in translation. Dyke doesn't have a clue about who you are, but he is convinced that he does. And why? Because he wants to be sure of something, of anything. And so now we've got some schizophrenic thinking he's a prophet and that he's destined to find us. Bottom line is, it's okay to believe in whatever helps us sleep at night, so long as we accept that it's also batshit crazy.
Is that possible, though? To believe in something you admit is irrational?
Of course it's possible. I mean, we do it all the time. Even the atheists say a prayer when the plane's going down. I mean, if there were a God, right? Let's assume supreme being. Do you think it gives a shit about what we're thinking? We can't know it. It's unknowable. That's why we invented fate. You know, I used to have an intellectual hard-on for Richard Dawkins, but that guy's missing the point too. See, atheists are just convinced that they've got the answer. But they're equally delusional in the face of grandeur. And you know what really grinds my gear? They've got this smug, pretentious air about them, like they're talking down to fifth graders, as if they've surpassed some threshold of knowledge and have seen the light, but it's still ignorance. Agnosticism, that's the truth. That is the truth. It's the only rational choice. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson is down with it.
Let's see what you just did. Now you're proselytizing.
No. And that's the point. Agnosticism means we don't have the answer, and maybe that we can't know it. And if you want to argue semantics and say that's an answer too, well then, yeah, the answer is we can't know. But maybe you've got a point that I am convinced I'm right. That's part of being human, though. Can't remain subjective all your life.
I guess that's the challenge of becoming an adult, though. Making a decision to go down a certain path despite your doubts. But maybe doubt can also force you to choose the wrong answer.
Are you telling me you think the NBA is the wrong path?
Did I say that? No. But sometimes I do get scared that I'll succeed in basketball and it'll be nothing more than a profession.
Well, shit. Making a couple of $1 million a year, playing a game you love, sounds okay to me. I am scared at a baseline level. I can't even consider making a decision. The more I study philosophy, the more I just want a nice couch, a house, and a dog.
Yeah, but we're young, Slim. You don't know what
We're not that young, you. We're old enough to make a decision, anyway. Old enough to repaint, young enough to sell. We're not there yet, but you get the point. I'm sick of being transient. I want to create a life for myself. And even if that means a steady job and a partner, well, why is that so bad?
Who said it was bad? It's just not what I want. Not right now.
Speak for yourself, you. I could use a cup of tea with a nice gal. And sometimes I get scared that I'll never have it. And that I'll never find out exactly what I want, because I'll spend all my time ruminating about the options until it's too late to be anything but a lonely hack of a philosopher. But it's hard to move on when you don't know where you're going. Right? You know, I think about my days playing down at the creek, our time at UNC together, even fighting in Iraq. And all those times where I felt connected that have since passed. And then it hits me that they'll never happen again. All of it's gone. And I miss the way the leaves crunched under my feet when I was a kid. And I miss the way we used to talk and eat burgers at the skillet. And I miss the way my mom would always fall asleep on the couch, and how her hand would slide off and hang down to the side. and I can see it all. Of course, but that's not the same thing as living it. And then I feel like an asshole because I get all nostalgic and then I get depressed and well shit. Then I end up here at the bar, like in that painting, hiding out.
What do you think, Lockhart?
Well, as far as I can tell, you're doing the right thing by asking the questions. You're considering all the possibilities, and there are a hell of a lot of them. That's the beauty of being young.
You know, sometimes I spend hours lying in bed trying to find a reason to get up. I wake up and stare at the ceiling, literally for hours. I start philosophizing, and then I think I'm an idiot for philosophizing instead of just getting up and making some eggs, all the while still lying in bed like a jackass.
That's not just you, Slim. That's part of being human. You keep thinking I'm better off because I have a big decision to make, but that's equally terrifying.
Well, you bringing me as your manager has been a game changer for me. You've got a guaranteed contract. You know, studying social theory and postulating about existence is easy because I never have to decide. It's nice to have something decided for me. It's like Hemingway said, maybe I don't care what it's all about. Maybe I just want to figure out a way to live in it. And if I'm really being honest, I feel most alive talking with you. You. Doing exactly this. Postulating. But yeah, I'm scared of the future. I'm scared it's just a matter of time. And I'm afraid that things won't work out. And I'm going to break down and just like dikes. You know, I mean, I've experienced some pain, but come on, not really. A couple of scars here and there, nothing profound. And so I've got all these high and mighty opinions about myself and about seeking truth. But have I been challenged to really apply them? No. I'm just a theorist. That's all. And I'm lazy because I got weed and whiskey and an Xbox. In the moment it makes me happy, but not in the long term.
Slim, I have to tell you something.
Just a second. I'm just about to finish, you know. Hanging with you has been the best part of my life. If there's one thing I've learned about becoming some kind of adult, it's that you have to make decisions you aren't sure will pan out.
There's that Jeep quote. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time.
Yeah. Reminds me of Iliad. We shall not cease from exploring, and at the end of our exploration, we will return to where we started and know the place for the first time.
You boys are wise behind your years, but you gotta remember to enjoy the ride. A massive boom set the lights flickering in the kitchen. I ran out to the front porch to see if the power lines were still intact. When I opened the door to the front porch, I almost tumbled over an uprooted tree and its twisted limbs. One by one, I tossed them out beyond the porch into the howling wind. I corralled the screen door closed and returned to the kitchen, where I walked into a deeper level of Slim and the Beast's conversation.
And all of these acceptable ways to unmask what's ingrained?
But it was the burger that brought us together. Because I could tell you weren't just there to get an autograph. No one had ever cursed at me like that before, telling me how to cook. No one at UNC had treated me like just another person, either.
Well, shit. I like my burgers the way I like them. And I was definitely high that day, and I wanted a burger. I wasn't there for a goddamn autograph. And the thing is, you didn't care who I was either. You were willing to have an honest conversation, and honestly, I'd never met someone like you before. I mean, someone willing to be vulnerable from the beginning, and I respected that.
Yeah, growing up, most of us aren't taught how to express that kind of vulnerability. I can thank my parents for that. And when it comes to the basketball court or the army, good luck. We're just given shitty chauvinist slogans like "be a man" and "brothers in arms."
And bros before hoes, and boys night out. It's crazy, man. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, because I've said it before. You are the first man I've ever loved. You?
You know, my dad always taught me that to love a man is to be a man. And I didn't know what he meant at the time, but he was right. And thank the muses. My coaches preferred teaching how to be competitive, how to sublimate feelings in secret handshakes and wrestling and aggression on the court.
Don't get me started with military. What is it about this here world that teaches men to fear intimacy and vulnerability?
Boys will be boys, and girls will be girls, and so the binary world goes round and round. I wonder when we'll ever start talking about humans again.
It's almost as bad as saying boyfriend and girlfriend. How is it possible that middle schoolers use the same term as adults in their 50s?
Well, that's a question for both of you. What do y'all think? What does it mean to, quote, be a man?
Well, being a man is what we're doing right now. Cooking and philosophizing and drinking whiskey, like you said, simply acting like a halfway human being.
I mean more like an adjective, though. What does it mean to be a man in this day and age? Give me 3 words.
An adjective, that's easy. I go with self-respect.
You're gonna need to elaborate.
No, I won't. I mean, like self-respect, plain and simple. How do you expect to respect someone, or be respected by anyone, for that matter, if you don't respect yourself first and foremost? A world without respect. That's not a world I want to live in.
Fair enough. I wouldn't put that first, though. Self-respect can turn into arrogance. You respect yourself too much, and you start looking down on other people. Then it turns into the opposite of what you're talking about, right?
Shit, I didn't know these adjectives were ranked. I have to say which one I'm putting first now.
They don't need to be ranked, boys.
My first choice is honesty. And I'm not just talking about honesty and having good morals and whatnot. I mean being honest with yourself. Maybe what I mean is integrity, though. You know, in Latin, integrity means the quality of being whole. It comes from integer, entire.
Here we go, Lockhart. We're gonna need a few more beers for this conversation. You was always trying to impress me with this Latin roots and shit. You think the origin matters? I don't give a flying fuck where the word came from, as long as I understand it.
You know as well as I do, that's just wrong. Origins are everything.
All I'm saying is, I don't need a Latin lesson to understand what we are talking about. And I say cheers to that.
What about that second adjective then?
Easy as well. Toughness. A man who isn't tough, life will break you. Better men than you and I have been broken by heavy shit. I know it's a cliche, a masculine answer, but shit. When did it become a crime to try and talk about the virtues of masculinity?
Yeah, but forgive me, Slim. I don't think you mean what you're saying. Toughness? I don't know. There are plenty of people who endure pain because they're tough, but it doesn't mean toughness leads to decency. I'd go with determination, being able to stick to a task, believing in yourself. But once again, check out the root. Give me shit. I don't care. It's Latin for limiting something, fixing something, setting boundaries. You have to know your limits. You have to determine your boundaries.
And other people's boundaries too. Determination is good, but I'm sticking with toughness. You can be determined as shit, but if you aren't tough, I mean, good luck with the bullets starts flying. No, you gotta be tough if you want to be a man. There's no way around it.
Agree to disagree. So I've got honesty and determination. You've got self-respect and toughness. What about the third one?
I should have put this one at the top. Loyalty. Loyalty is everything. It's definitely more important than being tough or being honest. No, loyalty is number one. Without loyalty, I'd be nowhere. Because remember, Hugh, loyalty also means being loyal to yourself. That's intuition. My father, whoever the fuck he is or was, wasn't loyal for shit. He left me alone to be raised by Wilhelmina. But you know why I stuck it out with my moms and Stoke Ridge? I was loyal to my principles. When I make a decision, I stick on it. To it.
Loyalty's good. But I'm gonna go with humility. And especially because I know you'll love to learn the etymology of the word, Slim. Humus comes from the idea of being earthbound. Like literally low to the ground, down to earth. If you want to be a fulfilled man, woman, or anything in between, we're only ever talking about humans after all. First and foremost, you better be humble. So I've got honesty, determination, and humility. You've got self-respect, toughness, and loyalty. I like it. Not bad. What about you, Lockhart? What makes a man?
You know, my wife Jane has this philosophy she calls the 3 Ps. Being passionate, patient, and making a concerted effort to be present. And that's as close to a complete human as one could be.
Passion, patience, and presence. I reckon I can get behind those two.
Thank you, brother. One of the final things I'll say is this book, Slim and the Beast, is of course about brotherhood and male intimacy and these guys' connection. And I missed my twin brother dearly when I moved here a couple years into life in Paris. Of course, being away from him for the first time was a shift. And a lot of this conversation, Jan and my friends and I, a couple others, we would cook dinner together most of the time once a week and just talk about these ideas that we were thinking about, including this idea of masculinity and what does it mean to be a man, femininity, and how we exist within the spectrum. And some of those quotes were taken directly, for better or for worse, from our early conversations. And I was thankful to have men in my life who are willing to open up. So thank you both for being here. There's a lot of artistry in this room, so chat with each other. We've got the basement the whole night, so you can literally use this space as your bar until 2 in the morning if you're so inclined. We certainly will be trying our best to do that. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Sam.